Hello, Mrs. Hoekstra here. So we're going to be working in Module 3, Lesson 11. I'm on page 85 in our book. We're working on angle problems and solving equations. It's the same type of idea that we just had in Lesson 10, so I'm not going to have a different essential question. It's basically a continuation of Lesson 10, excuse me, and so I'm not going to give us anything new. This first page here, we're going to do this in class. So go ahead, you can write that in and then jump over to page 86. We're going to jump in actually to page 87. All right, we're going to save those and we're going to just jump into page 87 here. All right, example 1, top of page 87. The following figure shows 3 lines intersecting at a point. Okay, so we know we have some different things going on here. So take a look at all the patterns that you notice. Okay, well, I notice that I have vertical angles because I notice that this angle here, right, points to the other angle here. So I know that this is also going to be X because it's vertical angles. So I know I have vertical angles. And also because I know I have vertical angles, I also know that this one here matches that one there. Do you see any other relationships that I know that are going on here? I also know that the 86 has a vertical angle to its partner over here, right? So this is 86. So the vertical angles really became very helpful in this problem. And then it says, what else do we notice? Oh, we have angles. It tells us that we have angles on a point, right? Intersecting at a point. So we also have angles at a point, which means we're working with 360 degrees. I also notice that I have angles on a line. That might help me too. Angles on a line, right? I have straight angles, so that means I have 180 degrees. Oh, that's not a degree sign. We'll fix that. So there's different ways we can solve this. Those of you who see angles at a point, you're going to take all of those angles, add them up, and equal it to 360. Those of you who see angles on a line, you're going to add up your 3 of them and make it be 180 degrees. I am going to do angles on a line. All right, I see this right here. I see this line with these 3 angles. I see this one, that middle one, and then this last one here, right? I see 3 angles. So I'm going to take 86 degrees plus X plus 68, and I'm going to equal it to 180. But if you saw the 360, you would include the other 86, the other X, and the other 68. All right, I'm going to put my 86 and 68 together. All right, commutative property lets me flip those around. I'm now going to add those 2 together. I get 154. Plus X equals 180. Now I'm just going to subtract the 154 from both sides, and I'll get my answer, right? X is 26 degrees. All right, so X equals 26 degrees. There we go. Nice. Pretty straightforward, pretty easy. All right, well, let's take a look at exercise 1 here. Okay, I am going to have you guys pause, but let's kind of talk our way through it so that we are at least heading in the right direction. So what are some things that you notice? I see a lot of vertical angles. Okay, remember vertical angles point to each other, right? What does that angle point to? Where is it pointing to? It's pointing to this one right here. Okay, so I know that that one is X. So I want you guys to look for vertical angles. I also notice that I have angles at a point, but you might also see angles on a line. I'm not sure which one you see. Do the one that you see. Okay, go ahead, hit pause now, and give this one a try, just like I did a second ago. Okay, so I actually saw that the 96 and the Y were vertical angles, so I could just drop those into each other's spots. I can move those things around. You could also say, hey, I noticed that this 40 is a vertical angle over here to this one that's unknown. And you can use the angles at a point of 360 and just add everything up and subtract from 360. Or you could see angles on a line, which is what I saw. My line was the purple one. Okay, here's the line that I saw. So I added up all of these angles here and added it to 180, and I found out that x was 19 degrees. All right, you could plug in the x and the y into the whole thing, see if it actually did make 360 degrees, and it should. All right, top of page 88. I don't know about you guys as I'm flipping this, but I think these are kind of fun because, you know, you always know the numbers are either 180, 90, 360. Like, you kind of already know what it's going to always equal, and then just work from there. I kind of like it. It's kind of fun. I know, I'm a nerd. All right, so let's see. What are some things I noticed in example 2? Well, I see 90 degrees, right? And those both happen to also be vertical angles to each other. What else do you see? I see this angle here, right? It points to this angle here. So I know that this is 77 degrees because of them being vertical angles. And I like writing in on the actual picture because it just makes it easier for me. Vertical angles. And so if I've got that, I also know then that this angle here has got to be x because it's a vertical angle to the other, right? Here's this one is pointing to that one there. So I also know that I have angles at a point. Maybe you see that one. Angles at a point, in which case you will have everything equal 360 degrees. Some of you might see angles on a line, in which case you would make it equal 180 degrees. And then there might be another group of you. I actually see complementary angles, which means they're going to equal 90 degrees. Okay, I see that because I know if this angle right here is 90 degrees, I know that these two here, all the way from that purple line to the purple line, have to also equal 90 degrees. All right, so you could set it up any of those three ways. I am actually going to do this one as angles on a line, because I think most of you probably see that one. All right, I'll do angles on a line. So I've got x degrees plus the 77 degrees plus the 90, and I know that that equals 180. All right, so what I can do then is I can put these two together, and I have x plus 167 is equal to 180. Subtract the 167, and I see that x is going to equal 13 degrees. Now, if you'd done this with a 90, you would have had x plus 77 equals 90, right? And you would have gotten the exact same thing. You would have gotten 13. Guess what? If I'd done it around all of the whole entire point of 360 degrees, I still would get 13. It just depends on how your brain sees it. Set it up the way that makes the most sense to you, okay? All right, go to the top of page 89. I would like you to pause the video. I'm not going to walk you through and see the different relationships. I want you to pause, write down anything and everything you see in the relationships that you believe is true, and then go ahead and solve it. So go ahead, hit pause right now. So I saw that x plus y, those two there, actually made a 90-degree angle. And so I said those were complementary. I also saw angles on a line, if you saw that relationship. I also noticed that x plus 27 was also a 90-degree angle, all right? Because those with that 90 made angles on the line. Okay, here's my angles on a line that I see. Okay, there's the angles on a line. 90 of it was already used up. Anyway, I found that x was 63 degrees and y was 27 degrees. Now, if that made total sense to you, great, keep on going. If it doesn't, put a question mark by this one and we'll talk about it in class. All right, let's go to example 3 then. Take a look at example 3. What relationships do I notice here? This was kind of weird looking, personally. I don't have all kinds of great straight lines. I can't use angle on a line. I can't use complementary angles. I'm going to have to only work on angles at a point, which means I'm working with 360 degrees here. All right, you'll notice that around the outside, if that's what you want to call it, of angle A. This side here is 225 degrees. I also notice that this here has a little square in it, which tells me that this is 90 degrees. So let's take everything we know and put it all together. So I know that I have 225 degrees plus the 2x that I don't know, plus the 90 degrees from that right angle, plus the 3x, and this all equals 360 degrees. Okay, so let's put everything together that we do know that we have. So I'm going to have 225 plus my 90 plus the 2x and the 3x, and that all equals 360 degrees. Well, if I add 225 and 90, I'm going to get what? 315. Plus, if I add the 2x and the 3x, I get 5x. I'm going to scoot this up a minute. There we go. I'm now going to subtract my 315 from both sides, because what you do to one side, you have to do the other. And I now have 5x equals, and what's 360 minus 315? What is that, 45? Yeah, 45. So I'm going to have 45 here. And then I'm going to divide both sides by 5. And x equals 9. And that's awesome, but that is not what the question is. I want to know, how big is angle JAH? Angle JAH. JAH. That's what it says. JAH is this one right here. JAH. So I'm going to do 2 times 9, also known as 18 degrees. And then I have to find angle GAF. And GAF is this one here. So that is 3 times 9 degrees. 3 times 9 is 27 degrees. There we go. I kind of like these. I don't know about you guys. I think they're kind of fun. All right, let's take a look at top of page 90. Again, I'd like you guys to hit pause. This looks just like the last one I just did with you guys. So I want you to hit pause. Give this one a try. All right, so there's all my work. Move this up a little bit. I said that there were angles at a point. I added all my x's and I added my constants. I have 6x plus 114 equals 360. I subtracted the 114 over, divided by 6, and I got 41 degrees. That is for x. I know that x is JKG, so therefore that is also 41 degrees. All right, top of page 91, last one. Here we go. So we have this diagram. We've got all kinds of crazy stuff going on here, right? So what do you notice? And I've got a couple x's and y's in there. I see a lot of vertical angles. Let's deal with those. Okay, so FBA, that one right there. What is its vertical angle? It's pointing right to it. It is letter Y. All right. Tell me about ABC. Where's its vertical angle? It's over here. This one's 50 degrees. And then what about CBD? CBD, that one there, its vertical angle is X. Okay. So you can look at this and say we have angles at a point, or you might see angles on a line. Okay. Let's see, what else do we know? Oh, it helps to read the problem here, Mrs. Hoekstra. It says that DBE, where's D? DBE, this one right here, this angle right here is 4 times FBG. FBG is X, this one. This is 4 times that one. So in other words, Y is 4X. Well, where else do I see a Y? I see it over here. It says 4X. So does that maybe help me put this all together? Sure. So if you see angles at a point, you're going to add all of these up and equal it to 360 degrees. Go for it. If you see angles on a line, you're going to take the ones that you know make up a line and add it to 180 degrees. I see angles on a line, so I'm going to do that one. I'm actually going to go right here. This is the line I see. Doesn't matter which line you actually see, you're going to have the same numbers as me. So I'm going to use those. So I have x plus 4x, because I know that that's the y, plus 50 equals 180 degrees. But if you didn't see that, you would have another x and another 4x and another 50 and have it equal 360. All right, I've got x and 4x, that gives me 5x plus 50 equals 180. Now I will subtract my 50 over to the other side. So I have 5x equals 180, or excuse me, 130. Wrote 130, said the wrong number. I'm now going to divide both sides by 5. And I'm left with x is equal to 26. All right, doesn't answer the question though. I need to know what all the angle measures are. So angle, well, let's just go here. Angle FBG is 26 degrees. And while I'm at it, its vertical angle, its partner, is angle CBD, right? So I know that that one is 26 degrees. I know that angle ABF is going to be 4 times that. So I know that it is 104 degrees. 104 degrees, which also means angle DBE is also 104 degrees. And lastly, I know that angle GBE is 50 degrees, right? Because I have it being a vertical angle to the other. Okay, what is the measure of angle ABG, right? And identify the relationship. ABG, it's an adjacent angle, right? ABG is adjacent. Take a look at this. I'm going to get the highlighter tool, I think. Angle ABG, this one here, right? We're talking about that great big angle there. Those are adjacent angles, right? They are adjacent angles. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to add up basically x and the y, or also known as x and 4x. So angle ABG is equal to angle ABF plus angle FBG. Okay, that's what I'm going to be doing. Well, I know ABF, I just got that a second ago, was 104 degrees. That does not look like 100. There we go, 104 degrees. And I know FBG, angle FBG, we know is 26 degrees. So if I add those up, I get 130 degrees. Okay, there we go. All right, hopefully you guys understood this. Come with questions. See you all later.